Greetings, family, and welcome back to another episode of Madtown TV with your host, King Fire, aka The Fresh King. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe. This channel is a variety channel where we discuss a variety of different things. I hope you guys have been enjoying some of the shorts, discussing some of the old retro sitcoms and television shows from the 80s. We discuss fashion from polo to all types of vintage and retro fashion. This channel is just about nostalgia, good vibes, and good times. Today I want to bring you something different and something new, family. I want to jump into another passion of mine, and that's my collecting of 80s vintage toys. Yeah, family. So we're going to get into that today as we check out some of these toys that are about 30, 40 some odd years old, and they were just some of the best toys in the 90s. So keep it locked and stay tuned for more as we jump into some of these nostalgic toys right here on Madtown TV. All right, family, without further ado, let's just jump right into the first vintage nostalgic toy right here. I know you might be thinking to yourself, Garfield and Odie, why? But there's a reason for that, family. This toy came out back in 1983, 40 some odd years old. This toy is 40 some odd years old, family. And this used to come out with a Happy Meal or a kid's meal back in the days. And it's just such of a nostalgic, beautiful piece, details and color. Back in the days, toys in the 80s, 80s babies, 90s kids. I think we had some of the best toys that we could collect and the best toys to get back then. It's a new day, it's a different time, and kids have different things. But yeah, for the people that came from the 80s, grew up in the 90s, this is a nostalgic beauty right here. Garfield and Odie from 1983, family, 40 some odd years. Let's move on to the next vintage toy. All right, family, for our next vintage classic toy in the collection, one of my favorite toys. I just want to start off with the bottom of his foot right here. Just to show you the date on this is 1985. This is an original, not a remake. Now let's get into it. All right, family, for the next nostalgic vintage classic piece, I just showed you the bottom of his foot from 1985. We have Lionel from the Thundercats, one of my favorite toys growing up as a kid from the 80s. If you ever watched Thundercats, you know it was a wicked cartoon. It was just one of the greatest things on TV, family, if you were an 80s kid growing up. And here we have him right here, the original Lionel from 1985. I'm missing his glove and that kills me, but I'll be on the hunt for that soon enough, family. But we have it right here, Lionel from 1985, original. A lot of these toys that I'm showing you are not remakes. If they are remakes, I will let you know, but a lot of these toys are originally from the 1980s, 40 some odd years old, late 30-year-old pieces right here, family. Let's respect the vibe of the 80s classics right here. Let's move on to the next nostalgic vintage classic toy in the collection, family. Yeah, family, like I said, Thundercats from the 80s, some of the best toys, and a wicked cartoon. How could I not talk about one of the greatest villains of all time, Mumm-Ra, right here, the ever living. This was one of the best villains of the 80s from the Thundercat series and cartoon, and man, you gotta love the details and the vibes on this Mumm-Ra right here. I still say, as 80s babies and 90s kids, we had some of the best toys of that era right here. The 1985 original Mumm-Ra from Thundercats, family. Wicked. Let's move on to the next vintage classic toy. Another favorite of mine, another 1985 classic right here, family, that you don't really see a lot of is Slive. Slive used to be a villain from the Thundercat series right here, and he's another original from 1985 right here. Like I said, just look at the details and the artwork and the design of these toys from 1985, and they were just beautiful, and some wicked toys from the 1980s right here, family. Slive from the Thundercats, the villain. All right, fam, let's move on to some more nostalgic toys. Before we even get started, just check the date. 1984 right there. Because I know we have a lot of remakes nowadays, so I want you guys to understand these are all officially original from the 80s. Now, let's get into it. Like I said, family, if we're talking about nostalgic 80s, some of the best toys of that era, how can we not talk about He-Man and one of the best villains of all time, Skeletor right here. Both of them on their battle cats, and it's just a wicked vibe right here. Definitely missing the weapons from these guys, you know, both 1985 originals, and I'm missing the weapons from them. That hurts me a little bit, but I'm still glad to have these original nostalgic toys with most of their pieces on their battle cats, and it's just wicked to have these two pieces right here. 1985 He-Man and Skeletor in their original 1985 collection of pieces right here, family, with the rubber heads on them and the hard bodies. Another classic from the 80s. Let's check out some more vintage toys, family, from the 1980s. Just so we're clear, this is 1988 vintage original Ninja Turtles. These are not the remakes that they just recently bought out. Again, this is not a remake. These are original 1988 Ninja Turtles. Now, let's get into it. All right, family. One of my favorite cartoons, TV shows, movies growing up as a kid was always the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And again, I know they just brought back out some remakes, some retro original Ninja Turtles, which is pretty cool to have. I didn't go after the remakes because I own the original vintage 1988 Ninja Turtles right here, so there was no need for me to buy remakes. Even though some of the things that I was missing, I will buy them in the remake editions because you can either get them from the 90s or they're just too expensive to buy the original ones. But these are all four original Ninja Turtles with Master Splinter in the back, a little naked because of course he's from the 80s originally too, and I've lost or could not get his clothing at the time. But these right here, family, the original 4 1988 Ninja Turtles that were released back in the 80s. Wicked, wicked, wicked. All right, family, we have some more nostalgic, wicked vibes right here. And who could leave out Bebop and Rocksteady, two of my favorite villains from the Ninja Turtle series. And of course we have the Rat King, another one I liked, and I think a lot of people overlooked the Rat King, but this toy was very classic back in the 80s. One over here that a lot of people might not be familiar with, they made a lot of weird Ninja Turtles back in the 80s, and this one here is one in particular, the Bandito Michelangelo right here. And this one is just wicked with him on the motorcycle. The Ninja Turtles used to come with a lot of different cars and helicopters and blimps and all types of different vehicles and accessories and different ones. So this is one of those wacky Ninja Turtles from back in the, I want to say this one released maybe late 80s, early 90s, but the Bebop and Rocksteady are definitely from 88, and the Rat King as well. And we have these original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle villains right here, and the Bandito Michelangelo on a motorcycle. Let's move on to some more nostalgic vintage toys, family. Now, family, if we're talking about villains in 1980s and we're talking about the Ninja Turtles, then we gotta mention the original Shredder right here. Yeah, this one came with the 1988 toy collection, and I love this Shredder right here. He's a hard one to stand up and pose, so he always had this crouching pose that you would have to do with him. And yeah, I really love this Shredder right here. And in the background, that one is a Foot Clan soldier, but the movie Foot Clan soldier from the Ninja Turtle movie, more so than from the cartoon. How we look at the Foot Clan with the purple and what they have, purple and black on. I really love those, and I need to get one of those as well for the collection. And again, family, the original 1988 Shredder right here from the Ninja Turtle collection. Let's move on to some more nostalgic toys. Before we start, just so you guys know, original 1984, not a remake. This is the original. All right, let's get into it. Family, if you grew up in the 80s, then you know that Gizmo was everything. But Gizmo in the pink Corvette was a plus, was an extra, was a bonus. And this piece is just a wicked collector's piece to have right here from the original 1984 collection. You can't go wrong with a Gizmo in your collection, man. I love Gizmo. He's one of my favorite creatures, and Gremlins is always one of my favorite nostalgic movies. So here we have it again, family. A 1984 original Gizmo in the pink Corvette. Let's move on to some more vintage toys in the collection. All right, family, for my next vintage toy in the collection, we're looking at 28 years right here. 1996 right here, Michael Jordan Space Jam, basketball and the baseball uniform right here, action figures right here. We're never gonna call them dolls. These are action figures, you know, still cased up in the original packaging from 1996. Wow, how time does fly past. And in front of that, we have the 1991 and in front of that, we have the 1991 Donatello Michael Jordan Ninja Turtle right here. And this one was a special one that came out. I wish I could find a giant one, but it's so hard and expensive to get. And again, family, we're looking at 1991 Michael Jordan Donatello Ninja Turtle here. And we're looking at the Space Jam Michael Jordan action figures, basketball uniform, and then the baseball uniform. 28 years of greatness right here, still in this original packaging casing. Wow, time does fly. Let's move on to some more vintage toys in the collection, family. Before we even get started, this is an action figure, Respect the Legend, original 1984. All right, let's get into it. All right, family, for the last one in this part 1 episode of Nostalgic Toys and Things, the man, the myth, the legend, MJ himself. People might talk their talk now and make fun and say what they want to say, family, but if you grew up in the 80s and even if you know now, MJ was that guy. MJ was a superstar, still is a superstar, still have some of the most highest selling albums. The Michael Jackson movie that's about to come out, you wait and you watch. When that Michael Jackson movie drop, right, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. With Jafar Jackson playing Michael Jackson, you're gonna see how much people really love and admire MJ. He needs no introduction. I mean, this is just a fire piece, a 1984 original. Let's look at the detail and the material that they used to put his jacket together. I mean, only Michael Jackson could have something like that. The red strip go down the pants, the sparkling socks, the black shoes. I mean, come on, this was an amazing thing to have back in the 80s. Everybody wanted one back in the 80s, but not every kid had one right here. The Michael Jackson figurine or action figure, however you want to slice it. Some people might say doll, but we're not gonna call this a doll. You know, he's a figurine. But anyway, enough love and respect to MJ. And also I definitely held on to this piece right here, 1984 figurine of MJ right here, because definitely have to pay homage and respect to the legend. I mean, who doesn't love Michael Jackson, right? Come on. Well, family, this has been another episode of Madtow TV. Thanks again for coming to rock out with your boy as we checked out some of these vintage, nostalgic vibes of these toys and from the 80s and from the 90s. I really appreciate you guys spending your time coming to rock out with your boy. Don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the page to grow and for more people to know. And don't forget, when this page reaches to 1,000 subscribers, we growing and we getting there, family. We growing and we getting there. Once it reaches 1,000 subscribers, I'll be picking a random commenter and subscriber and giving away not one, not two, but maybe 3 $50 Ralph Lauren gift certificates, family. And it might go up and up and up, and you never know what might happen. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace, love, and prosperity. Kaboom! We're gone.